Hello everybody, PeterSweden here, and I am in the Netherlands today because the government here is planning on seizing 3,000 farms or forcing the farmers to sell their land to the state in order to meet new climate goals. Yes, perfect farmland like this right behind me here is going to be seized by the government, taken by the government, just like under communism. Basically it is climate communism. And they're going to build houses here instead or whatever. And the farmers are not happy about this, and they are having a protest. So I decided to come here to the Netherlands to report on it. And it's only possible with your support. Everyone who is supporting me on my Substack has allowed me to be able to go here and do this reporting, because you know the mainstream media is not going to be covering this fairly. I will be interviewing farmers, I will be covering the protest. There's going to be a massive protest with farmers coming to the Hague and with tractors. Unfortunately they have said that the tractors won't be allowed to come in. The government does not like when people are going to protest. Basically the government is planning on seizing the farms, and then when people protest against it, they are trying to stop the protest as well. It's kind of crazy. And just think about how crazy it is. The government is planning on seizing perfect farmland like this, farmland that has been owned by farmers for generations. You have young farmers coming up, they're going to have their career as a farmer, and that will just be ripped away from them. People will lose their livelihoods, and the farmers are not happy. They've been protesting for a long time now, and they're planning a large protest here because they are standing up against this government tyranny, and the mainstream media is ignoring it. So that's why I'm here. Now, when I arrived at the protest in the Netherlands, there was a lot of people there, about 10,000 people. And it was a great atmosphere. People were eating, dancing, there was lots of music. It was kind of like a big concert protest against government tyranny. And of course you hear nothing about this in the mainstream media. And the funny thing is, the mainstream media was there. I was literally standing right beside a cameraman for the AP, the Associated Press. Did they say anything about? Did they show anything of this? No, you bet they didn't. They're only there to film in case something happens that they want, in case something negative happens, and then they want to get that out on video and then push it out. But because everything was completely peaceful, of course, they just completely ignored it. And there was a lot of police there. That was the interesting thing when I was in Hague that morning, because you see a lot of tractors were planning on coming to the protest. Hundreds or maybe thousands of tractors were driving in, and they were stopped by the police and the military. They actually had brought in military trucks to block out the tractors from coming in to the city. So they had to park their tractors outside the city and then come in by bus instead, or take the bikes in. So they did make it to the protest eventually, but not with their tractors. And of course the government did this because, you know, it would have been quite a sight to see 1,000 tractors lined up there on the field. But anyway, it was a great protest with great atmosphere, and I got some great interviews with some of the farmers here as well. Take a listen. So I'm here with the farmer from Farmers Defence Force here in the Netherlands. Why are you? Introduce yourself, and why are you protesting here today?
Yeah, hi, my name is Jos Ubels. I'm Vice President of the Farmers Defence Force, at the same time young farmer. Why we're protesting in the Netherlands is that actually our government is trying to shut down farms on false grounds. We were here today with a lot of farmers, but also with a lot of civilians. The population of the Netherlands needs to be fed, and we can do this only by import, if this is what our government is talking about. And they want to preserve the Netherlands for some emissions agriculture is emitting. But it's a farce, because of course we emit, but we also take in nitrogen. So the story is not correct. They should look to our netto emission, and then we are pretty good businesses, because we're working in the circle of life. For example, the industry is only emitting because they burn fossil fuels. So the story is not correct. They're bashing farmers now, and farmers are sick and tired of this. And you can see that our government is making lots of legislations to block farmers, but also the civilians of the Netherlands have lots of trouble with the government, because the government is trying to force them in some sort of pattern. They should eat vegan.
The Dutch government is planning on. Are they planning on seizing the farms or forcing the farmers to sell the land? Basically, is that correct?
Yeah, well, it's actually even worse because you know how governments work. They will never say that they will just take the land because then they know they have a lot of trouble to explain this.
Yes.
No, they say we voluntarily buy your fields for this and this price, for like 100% of the value. But the value is dropping because they designed some areas in which the farms should be sold. So you can imagine if you're a house, you have some houses on your name, and they draw a circle around those houses that those have to be sold to the government and broken down. Those houses will decrease in price, drop in price, and this is what's happening in the farms in the Netherlands now.
And it's more than just price as well, because many of these farms have been in generations. Generations.
Of course, there's a lot of emotion involved. We evolved our farms over decades and generations into very high productive, high quality, animal friendly, environmentally friendly farms, and we are actually known worldwide for having the best farms of the world, and we are getting rid of them because some propaganda of some politics, and this is very sad. We can live without politics, is my opinion, but we can't live without farmers. So why?
Do you think what do you think is the reason they are doing this? Is it part of the World Economic Forum? Do you think they are kind of behind the...
As well,
what do you think?
In the beginning of everything, I wouldn't believe this story, because I think, how is it possible that one man and one group...
Is it Klaus Schwab that wants you to eat insects? They don't want you to eat meat.
No, but now you're fully wrong, because Klaus Schwab telling people to eat insects, but he also say, at the end you will own nothing and still be happy. But Mr. Klaus Schwab will own everything. So the story, he will never eat the insects. He will force the poor people to eat insects and fake foods and produce hyper produced foods, you know, with a lot of chemicals inside, and they force poverty upon people will bring them to the fact that they have to buy this kind of food because they can't afford the rest. And by breaking down family farms in the Netherlands, food security will be at high stakes.
So it is like communism, where they take from the poor people, and only the rich people, the elite, they are the ones with all the power.
Well, actually,
and control.
it's very painful to say, but the free and democratic country, known all over the world, that we have very free laws and very free people that travel everywhere and make agreements all over the world, are now forced in some sort of pattern that we are, communism can be, it sounds like communism. They are
climate communism.
Climate communism. They are green ideologies, and they are just forcing plant agriculture, plant-based economy. Only in this area you can do this and this by the law of the government, and this is very hurtful, and I think it will never be a success. We see this in a lot of communistic countries. They take over agriculture. Stalin in the past said once that the farmers are the evil, we need to get rid of them.
But they did that as well. They took it and people starved.
People starve, and so he got power over a lot of people. But at the end of the story, the farmers are the ones needed, and they are always standing up for their right to produce and to feed the country.
Yeah, so you saw that here today with thousands and thousands and thousands of people came here. But the government actually tried to stop the protests today, I understood. They used military trucks to block the tractors from coming.
Yes, actually they do this on many levels. Of course, they use force power to show that it's not smart to come here. They drove in some water jets from Germany because probably our government doesn't have the money anymore to buy them themselves because of their way of practicing. But at the same time, the mayor is also of the same political party, the VVD, that's causing all the trouble in the coalition now. And now, for example, they have the mayor let the trams and the metros today drive in the center of Den Haag, and they never stopped. They were empty, the doors were closed, and they just keep driving, so the people couldn't arrive here.
Interesting.
So this is very undemocratic.
They do everything they can to try and stop the protests, it seems.
They do everything in their power.
Because I think for people around the world, we are seeing in many countries, not just Netherlands, but also many other countries, we're seeing more tyranny, like we're seeing the introduction of digital IDs and so on. and it seems like the farmers in the Netherlands are kind of showing that people are standing up against all of this government tyranny.
Yes.
So they don't want people to see it.
They want to block this because they know they are afraid. This protest was on the 11th of March today, and the 15th of March we have province elections, and the province will choose the first chamber members. So this protest will have a lot of effect on the votes on elections. So they are very scared for their electorate. They don't want to lose votes, so they try to block everything because they know they're losing.
And do you have any final message to everyone? Any final message at all?
Yes.
People should wake up, see what's going on. From Dutch farmers to the world, what's your message?
Every person in the world should have the right to have 3 times a day a beautiful meal. This is often produced by local farmers. You should support them and you should stand behind them because they fight for their countries, they fight for the people.
Excellent, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I really hope you did enjoy this video. It was an honor to be able to go to the Netherlands and stand with the farmers for freedom. There will be more interviews coming up, so make sure to stay tuned for that, and make sure to go and follow me on my Substack. I'll leave links below, and give a paid subscription if you enjoy this video and you want to support all my travel costs that it took to make this video. Thank you.